Here we have the first of the 5 isomers of hexane, C6H14. This one's simply called hexane or N-hexane. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms in a straight line and 14 hydrogens, C6H14. Now here we have an isomer of hexane. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons in a straight chain, but here on carbon atom number 1, 2, 3, you have a methyl group. So the name of this isomer is 3-methyl and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the straight chain. So the name pentane follows at the end because the longest straight chain has 5 carbon atoms. The 6th carbon, of course, is accounted for by the methyl group that is on carbon atom number 3. 3-methyl pentane is an isomer of N-hexane. Here we have another isomer. This one with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons again in the longest straight chain. And with carbon atom number 2 having a methyl group, this isomer is named 2-methyl pentane. Again, 5 in the longest straight chain. Now, of course, you could decide that you're going to count the carbons from this side, but the IUPAC conventions for naming require you to keep the numbers as small as possible. So with the methyl on this carbon, we begin numbering from this side, so that this would be designated as carbon atom number 2, and the entire structure is called 2-methyl pentane. This 4th isomer has 2 methyl groups on carbon atom number 2 with the longest straight chain of 4 carbon atoms. This is designated as 2,2-dimethyl butane with 4 carbons in the longest straight chain and 2 methyl groups attached to carbon atom number 2, 2,2-dimethyl butane. Last isomer, again 2 methyl groups, but this one being numbered from this direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, will end with the name butane with the longest chain being 4 carbons. But on carbon atom number 2 there's a methyl, and then on carbon atom number 3 there's a methyl. So this isomer is named 2,3-dimethyl butane. This is the 5th isomer of C6H14 or N-pentane. These are all structural isomers. 2,3-dimethyl butane, 2-methyl pentane, 2,2-dimethyl butane, 3-methyl pentane, C6H14 hexane or N-hexane. So you realize that there are 5 structural isomers of C6H14 or 5 isomers of hexane. Hexane C6H14 is an alkane. It obeys the general formula CnH2n plus 2, which is typical of the alkane homologous series. How do you remember that hexane has 5 isomers, in case you've forgotten? Or how many isomers would we have in pentane or in butane? Actually, you could memorize it, you could take some time and draw all of them out, or you could commit this formula to memory so that you'll always have a quick way to remember how many isomers you have for hexane and pentane and butane when you get a question like this one in the exam. To see the question, you can click on this card above. So the formula to remember is 2n minus 4 plus 1. And if you have butane, and if you have pentane, and if you have hexane, and even up to heptane, this formula would help you to identify the number of isomers that you're looking for. In the case of hexane, N would be equal to 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, and then 4 plus 1 gives you 5. So with that formula, I'd like you to try out and see if it works for butane, and if it works for pentane, and if it works for heptane. Beyond heptane, the formula would break down, so it's only useful for recalling the number of isomers for butane, pentane, hexane, and heptane.